And now on the Newsmaker line, our next guest, I've told you that she's coming today, somebody for whom I've had a great deal of respect for a very long time. She's one of the founders of one of the great online magazines, The Federalist, Mollie Hemingway, who you've seen on Fox News and everywhere else. Mollie, good afternoon to you. Welcome to the Pat Miller Program.
It is great to be here with you.
Well, great to have you, and I genuinely, truly mean that. We always say that to all the guests. It's so good to have you, but this is a genuine, real thing, and I'm just only slightly to moderately to highly geeked being able to have you on the program today. You're coming to town September the 17th up at the Cruz Plaza, which is just north of town. You're going to be speaking up there. So this is not your first rodeo here in Fort Wayne, is it?
No, I have been in Fort Wayne a few times. I myself am Lutheran, and so there are a bunch of Lutheran activities there, and I have friends who've been there. So I've always enjoyed my visits to Fort Wayne, and I'm very excited to be coming back.
Well, and I'm very glad that our radio station, WOWO, is one of the sponsors of having you there on the 17th up at the Cruz Plaza, and also as well as the Lutheran schools, of course. One of the things that I'm sure you're going to be dealing with is the importance of a good, solid education. And in fact, you're probably going to go far enough to say it doesn't hurt if it's a good, solid Christian education. Did that help shape the Mollie Hemingway we've come to know?
Well, it was important for me growing up. It's also been incredibly important now that I'm a mother and my children go to Lutheran schools, and my husband serves on the board of a Lutheran school. We live in the D.C. area, and there are so many things that are so bad about the direction of the country. And my husband and I just frequently say that one of the very few things that gives us hope about the future of the country is our children's school, where they learn so much that you're not learning in a lot of other schooling options in our area, at least. And thinking about curriculum and thinking about school environment, these are very important things for people who care about their children and care about the future of the country.
Yes, behind. You're going to be here on September the 17th up at the Cruz Plaza, which, of course, when you leave Fort Wayne, that's the first Auburn exit that you come to. It's a beautiful facility. I don't know if you know this or not, but our former Congressman Marlin Stutzman is one of the owners of that facility. Did you know that?
I didn't know that. That's great.
Yep, you'll like it. And make sure they walk you around on the north side of that complex, because there are some of the most gorgeous classic cars you've ever seen in your life in there. And for the right price, you could probably take one home. So you're coming in. You've talked about the importance of Christian education. I found somebody that I was talking to the other day, Mollie, and they were like, well, I could afford to send my kids to a Christian school, but they're so expensive. I mean, I could do it, but there's so much other that we couldn't do. We only get kids once, don't we? I mean, and is it less a cost of sending somebody to a good Christian education as it is an investment in sending them to a good Christian education?
Yeah, I have a couple of thoughts on this. One, right now my family is in a much different financial situation than we were when we started having our kids in private school.
Right.
But my husband and I believed it was so important to give them a Christian education, in our case a classical Christian education, that we put them in this school before we could even afford to buy a house. I mean, it was so important, and this investment has so paid off. But it also speaks to why it's important for other people to be generous. I mean, even one of the first years that we were doing this, we got help from a fellow member at our congregation. Our school provides tuition assistance. That's why we're doing this event, is to help raise funds so that people who desperately need a Christian education and a quality education can get it, even if their personal financial situation isn't the same. So it's important to sacrifice for yourself, but it's also important for people who have means to help other people escape from some of these really bad schools.
Yeah.